Phil Anselmo, great to have you in Glasgow, great to have you back in Scotland again. Obviously, you've written about how good the gigs have been recently. Why do you think the band are so much on form at the moment?
Well, it's from gigging, constantly playing, and having to choose from 3 separate records, and we're very, very liberal about it, you know, so 2 hours worth of music a night keeps you sharp.
Now, the band reconvened last year after taking some time out. Why do you think the chemistry was right to bring the band back together again?
Because it was always there. It was always in the plan. Haunting in the back of everybody's mind, and the right thing had to happen. Back surgery, had to recover for whatever recovery is, and all of us had to recover from Katrina and this and that, but it brought us closer, and it shows on the new album our dedication to each other and how it's always been connected with Down. I think there's a void right now in true hands-on, gut-level rock and roll. Just, you know, hard rock. We do have heavy metal elements coming from heavy metal bands, but having done that, I think we're more concentrating on hard rock, which, like I say, there's a gigantic void. And there's no real place to stick Down into a slot and say, okay, they're this type of band, you know, or one or the other. But this is tough to say. We need more bands with hands-on, true rock and roll from the heart, you know? I think kids should do their homework. There's a lot more to music than just your average fare. So that's what we did, and that's what we concentrate on, is to expand our musical knowledge as much as possible. And we don't want to be pigeonholed into everyone expecting every release to be this heavy monster thing, you know? We can do anything we want to do.
Listen to the album, listening to the lyrics in it, seems to be quite personal, a lot of the work in it. Would that be the case, do you think?
Absolutely.
What sort of things are you bringing into it? What sort of things are you focusing in this?
Well, it's fairly obvious, you know. I don't want to answer for anyone else's imagination, you know. Let them lie and let them discover for themselves.
Now, obviously there's a single that's come out from single, On March the Saints. Can we talk about that?
Sure.
What's that single about? What brought that to be the song that you decided to promote?
Well, it's a great song, first and foremost, but it really, really puts the exclamation point on the survivors of Katrina, and really how amazingly devastating it is to lose everything that you own and be surrounded by families from the ghettos, from wealthy homes, all bundled together, and then at that point, we are absolutely equal. So it taught a lot of humility to me, and brought a lot of, I guess, compassion into my life, where I was a young man, you know, in my other bands and in the other releases, and that's, you know, young men are built for unleashing this anger, the directionless anger, some very pointed anger. I feel I'm past that now, lyrically. And with On March the Saints, Katrina, the desperate need to cling to something bigger than you. And I'm not pointing towards God or anything, but the will. In bold letters, the will inside of a person. The test. And to clear it up once and for all, Katrina, in Greek, the translation means to cleanse. Hence the lyrics, the cleansing. And in a lot of ways and in a lot of people's lives very close to me, it did do that one thing. It cleansed them and made them better people, much better people. I mean, growing up in New Orleans is, I guess, a extremely unique thing in the United States because, no offense, not many cities have that much culture left, you know. Instead of your average shopping mall, which of course New Orleans has always had, we still have the French Quarter with the original bricks and this and that, and the beautiful architecture and streets and whatnot. The music, however, varied unbelievably from growing up young and full of angst. The hardcore scene was incredible in the heyday, in the early 80s, mid 80s. But even previously, living in the French Quarter and being brought up in the French Quarter and listening to the street players and listening to the horn players and Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras is an essential part of musical culture because Mardi Gras music in itself is its own genre that is embedded in our heads and has a familiar groove to it that in itself is unique. The works, there's certain works, early works of Dr. John that priceless, you know, a song like Right Place and Wrong Time. I've been in the right place, but it must have been the wrong time. The drummer is so laid back and lazy, we play on the backbeat, man, you know, and it's true and it's real, and that's where we're coming from musically for sure.
One thing that's very striking about the album is the cover. Can you talk about that at all? What's going on in the cover there? What's that all about? It's a very rich package of artwork through it.
My lady Kate and I did a lot of research on symbols and certain meanings of old, you know, things that struck a chord in us, and we would read what its meaning was and its history and its facts. And we went to Pepper's house and we all collaborated, and Pepper was always very creative with that as well, and always very creative. And together we came up with this concept. However, within a concept, there must be a concept of the record. So, as a lyricist, I just feel that, once again, the symbolism speaks for itself. And I suggest people do their homework, just like they have to do with the lyrics. Even in English, you know, I know that it's not your average fare. It's not your spoon-fed baby I love you type song, you know.